All the cities.
The ones I emailed you?
Yeah, do you have the paper ones?
I can print one out for you.
Okay.
What do you need?
No, the staff report, I didn't have a chance to print it before I came.
That's why I come out the last minute.
Yeah.
Or I'll leave my folder on the desk when I leave, and
Yeah.
it's like an electronic thing.
I was watching my oldest waiting for my wife to get home with my youngest. He was like, I was running around and forgot it.
We're doing the no first. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody's got it. That's pretty strong. Ready?
Yeah.
We're just waiting for Daryl. Bring us.
Yeah.
Daryl's print off
I
stuff.
should have just brought my iPad.
That's what we do here. We just pick it up, and then he'll have it on the screen.
I'll have it on the screen.
That gives us a chance to have this other person here. This way, ladies. Clock's turning fast anyways.
Mine says 5 right on the button.
Right, 502.
5:02. There it comes.
Sorry about that.
Call the meeting to order, Board of Zoning Appeals, regular meeting, Monday, April 3rd, 2017, at 5:04. Roll call.
Mr. Schlechter.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Hayes.
Here.
Mr. Lamont.
Here.
Approval of the minutes. Have a motion?
Were you? Did you walk in late because you were absent? Was it last month they were late?
The minutes say
After.
I came in at 5:15 p.m.
Okay,
See
I
it,
got you.
roll call.
I didn't see that actually. I'll move to have the minutes approved.
A second.
All in favor?
Mr. Lamont.
Yes.
Mr. Schlechter.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes. Any old business?
None for me, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlemen?
No old business, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, what I'm going to do right now is anybody that's going to speak tonight to come up to, when they come up to the podium to sign in their name and address. Also, I will swear you in. Anybody that's going to speak tonight, raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge? Okay.
That's fine.
Do this, ready? I read that or he read it? I read it. Variance request on the west side landscape strip from 5 feet required to 0 feet provided. Concurrent with variance to the parking side setback of 5 feet required to 0 feet provided for the property located at 5299 Monroe Street. Parcel number 7816977, STZR, sections 2909, 3000, 001. Darrell with the staff report.
Yes. The commercially zoned subject property at 5299 Monroe Street comprises a regular shaped parcel formerly used for the sale of used automobiles. The applicant wishes to demolish the existing building and redevelop the site by constructing a new restaurant with a drive-through. This proposed project went through the township's project plan review process in March. The applicant also owns the 2 parcels located to the west of the subject property at 4700 Nantucket Drive and 5305 Monroe Street. The applicant is seeking a variance from the requirement of Section 3001 of the Sylvania Township Zoning Resolution, concurrent with the variance from the requirement of Section 2909. Section 3001 dictates, landscape shall be required around the perimeter of a parcel located within a commercial or industrial district. It then stipulates a 5 feet minimum setback for the side of the parcel. The setback is intended to be coexistent with the setback for parking mandated in Section 2909, which states 5 feet minimum setback from any side or rear property line for all parking spaces in commercial and industrial zone districts. The variance request is for 5 feet, thus eliminating the side landscape strip and side parking setback requirements. This variance is sought for the west side of the property to allow for the placement of 10 angled parking stalls. The proposed project is lacking on the required amount of parking spaces for a restaurant with a drive-through. However, the applicant owns the parking lot and access drive to the immediate west and southwest of the subject property and the small commercial center to the west of that as well. Both of these properties are in the city of Toledo. The property owner would allow cross-access between the 3 parcels, alleviating much of any parking concerns. The proposed parking spaces on the west side of the subject property would straddle the property line as well as the Toledo-Sylvania Township boundary. The building currently on site was constructed in 1954 and the site has not been redeveloped since. There currently is no landscape strip on either side or the rear. The applicant will be providing the required minimum 5-foot landscape strip on the east side and in the rear of the parcel. Staff finds that the irregular shape of the lot combined with its small size makes the subject property exceptional and challenging for commercial development. This is compounded by the required minimum 120-foot building setback from the center line of Monroe Street. The applicant, by redeveloping the site, will be improving the site and adding landscaping that currently doesn't exist along the east and south sides of the parcel. Staff recommends approval of the requested variance from the minimum side landscape strip requirement, concurrent with a variance to the parking side setback requirement for the west side of the property only from 5 feet to 0 feet for the property located at 5299 Monroe Street. I would like to add that this afternoon we received the updated site plan, which board members have received. The parking stalls are no longer straddling the township, city of Toledo boundary. The entire proposed plan is within the township.
Any questions? Would anybody like to speak on this from the audience?
My name is Ken Russ. I'm with Legends. We're the general contractor. We didn't realize until we got into the plan review with the other entities that Toledo was going to request a complete review also of the project because of the parking lot straddling across the line. I guess we didn't realize that that was going to be a requirement from them, so that's why we resubmitted it. We've been working with the restaurant franchisee to make sure that we can make some modifications on the building and change the shape of the building a little bit. So since we had that meeting, we've been trying to get those drawings revised, and we just got them done on Friday, and so I got them up here as soon as I could to just let everybody see what we were trying to propose to do. But it then keeps everything in your township, and so one review, one set of eyes looking at it, and we're trying to come in compliance. Well, we changed the front entrance coming in also. That was one of the items that came up during the review, what they would like us to see us do. So we've changed the site plan to come in compliance with fire department and what the highway, everybody was going to require, ODOT, everyone was, all the requirements. So that's what that revision reflects.
Anything else, sir? Any questions for the gentleman?
You're going to have curb stops for parking?
Yes.
I want to make sure it doesn't, parking extend over that line. And you don't want people pulling through onto that.
Correct.
Parcel.
But what we do want is be able to, the reason that we want that is so that in the evening, this part of the business will be closed down at around 10 o'clock, and then any overflow parking from the adjacent property can also use that parking without having to walk through landscaping and walk through other things. That was part of it. That's what has been used so far in the same manner. Just I'm not sure that it was so long ago. There was no barrier between all of those.
So are you going to have a cross-access easement drawn up and then recorded on both properties?
Yes. And then that will also allow, we're going to put some signage up to allow people that you can actually exit over to Nantucket and go out to the light then. So that should help a lot with the traffic flow from what we're putting in there along with what's existing now that comes in and out. It'll be more defined. And we did speak to the neighbor to the east of us, and he would, at least what he told us, he would love for us to put that up there because it moves the building back and allows his building to be more visual and seen with what we're trying to come in compliance with there.
Looks like you added a patio there off the front.
There was concrete there in the front before on the other one. I think we just filled in some of that. So everything else would be green space that you see inside the curb areas on both ends of the parking along Monroe Street, and then behind the building around where the dumpster is and where the cars pull in, all that would be green space in there also. And then on the very back of the property, we have green space along there too.
Any questions?
On this, where would the exits, you see the drive-through here, do they have to go back around the building or out to the right there? Because you're saying there should be...
That is correct. They would either have to come out through the, so when they come through the drive-through right here, they'd have to come up to here, and they could either come out and make a right turn. I think they're asking us to put a right turn only right there, or we could put signage up. We're going to put some signage up that says exit out to the light, and they'll come down here and drive behind the building and exit out to the light, because they have access to that all the way across. And then we'll put signage when people pull out of these spots and pull out, there'll be signage right here that they can see here that says they can exit out. So they can make a decision if they want to turn left, it's to their advantage to go out to that light and go turn left instead of trying to get, pull up in and out of the other one. So we had on the previous plan an entrance and exit right here, and they've asked us to eliminate that.
That's what I assumed. Okay.
There's something there now, and so they're asking us to get rid of that altogether.
That makes sense.
And then the fire department also asked to widen up this driveway right through here. I'm not sure they'll ever pull a truck in if that's on fire, but they asked to have access down through that side, make it a little bit wider, so we did.
See if anybody else wants to speak.
Anybody else have anything to say? Quiet crowd.
I'll move to approve a variance request on the west side landscape strip from 5 feet required to 0 feet provided, concurrent with a variance to the parking side setback of 5 feet required to 0 feet provided for the property located at 5299 Monroe Street, parcel number 78169977. with the stipulation that a cross-access easement for ingress and egress be drawn up and recorded on this parcel and adjoining parcel to the west.
Second.
Mr. Hayes.
Yes.
Mr. Schleifer.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Romano.
Yes.
Okay. Ready? Carol? Issue number 5, variance request from the rear and south side setbacks of 40 feet required to 20 feet provided for the property located at 7464 Sylvania Avenue, parcel number 7824024, STZR section 2003-D.
Should probably take all three of them together.
Yeah, probably could, couldn't it? It's all the same deal. Okay, we're going to take item 5, 7, and 8 together. All right with you guys? Let's read number 7. Variance request from the landscape and screening requirements when abutting a residential for the rear and south side for property located at 7464 Sylvania Avenue. Item number 8. Variance request for the north side setback 40 feet required to 30 feet provided for the property located at 7464 Sylvania Avenue, parcel number 7824024, STZR section 203-D. Okay, Darrell.
There are 3 variance requests from the applicant before the BZA for a portion of the 15-acre property located at 7464 Sylvania Avenue. The applicant has submitted plans for project plan review for the development of a 23-bed senior behavior care hospital. This non-traditional hospital will be single-story and measure only 13,290 square feet. An application for a change in zoning from A3 agriculture to C2 PUD has also been submitted and will be heard by the Lucas County Plan Commission on April 26. Approval of these 3 variances are contingent upon the change in zoning classification to C2 PUD being ultimately approved by the Township Trustees. The northern 8.5 acres were recently approved for a zone change from A3 agriculture to R5 PUD. The subsequent lot split should be enacted shortly, and the address for the new parcel is intended to be 4120 King Road. The remaining 6.5 acres are for the moment still zoned A3 agriculture. The applicant has begun the zone change request process for the next 3.15 acres south of the 4120 King Road parcel. This is the subject lot for these variance requests. It extends nearly 500 feet east to the parcel boundary and has 275 feet of frontage on King Road and no frontage on Sylvania Avenue. Should the zone change be approved, this new parcel will receive a King Road address. There will then be approximately 3.35 acres left of the original parent parcel on the northeast corner of King Road and Sylvania Avenue. This remaining southern portion, in addition to the parcel to the immediate east at 7422 Sylvania Avenue, while presently zoned A3, are not expected to be developed for residential uses. It is for this reason that the applicant is requesting the first 2 variances. Not only are the adjoining properties to the east and south not likely to be developed for residential, it is highly probable that they will be developed for some type of commercial use given their location on the northeast corner of Sylvania Avenue and King Road. Section 2003D dictates a minimum 40-foot wide yard area shall be provided for the perimeter parcels for a commercial PUD when abutting a residential district. The applicant is asking for a reduction to 20-foot yard area on the rear and south side of the subject lot 20 feet is the minimum yard area for a commercial PUD when abutting a commercial or industrial district as specified in Section 2003-E. Secondly, the applicant is asking for a variance to waiver the landscape and screening requirements for the rear and south side mandated by Section 3002 for commercial properties abutting residentially zoned districts. The third variance request, similar to the first, is to reduce the yard area on the north side abutting 4120 King Road from the minimum required 40 feet to 30 feet. The senior apartments at 4120 King Road will have approximately 135 feet from the boundary with the subject lot to the nearest wall of the building. Within the 135 feet is 90 feet of yard, which includes an earthen mound and a 10-foot landscape buffer. This wide yard was put in place as a buffer for the apartments, in part because of the uncertainty of what may be developed to the south. Lastly, it should be noted that if the proposed zoning for the subject lot were C2 as opposed to C2 PUD, the minimum required landscape strip would be 30 feet, the same as which the applicant is requesting. While the zoning department and the BZA should normally refrain on speculation of future land uses in the township, staff recognizes the unlikelihood of residential development and the probability, if not inevitability, of commercial development on the remaining southernmost portion of this property on the corner of Sylvania Avenue and King Road. Staff further feels that it would be unreasonable to hold the applicant to the requirements set forth in the zoning resolution relating to abutting residential. Moreover, the low intensity of this proposed small hospital indicates that the granting of these variances should not negatively impact the adjoining properties or alter the intent of the zoning resolution. Staff recommends approval of the 3 requested variances for the proposed part of the property located at 7464 Sylvania Avenue.
Daryl, what's the rear yard setback for the R5 zone parcel to the north?
The 4120?
Right. We never saw that site plan. It was just
Right.
a zoning change.
Right.
30 feet.
That sounds right, yeah, I was going to say 30 or 35. I can run to the office and get the plan.
Well, maybe when someone else speaking, you can grab that. And did they have any landscape or screening requirements?
Yeah, whatever it is, let's say 30 feet, the landscape.
Because that would have been residential, abutting residential.
Right. Oh, you can. Now if I can just read it. Thank you. Yeah, it's a 30-foot landscape buffer. And within that 30 feet, they left the existing trees. And then since then, they've resubmitted a landscape plan because the existing trees ended up being kind of few and far between. It's a lot of vines and brush in there, so to supplement that, they're adding some pine trees, some Colorado spruce within that.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? You all set? Anybody from the public have anything to say or speak?
Afternoon. Troy Barham with Windows Engineers, representing the developer. Daryl did such a good job doing the presentation. I'm here to answer any questions you have.
I have none.
When you drew up the site plan, were there any considerations to not leaving that small strip of land between the existing residential and?
That's not part of the parcel being acquired.
Right. I mean, was there consideration to acquire it? I mean, because it really doesn't leave much of a usable piece. I just wonder what the discussion was pertaining to that.
I don't believe that they needed it, and they didn't want to acquire land that they didn't need. So it's going to probably say there is a natural buffer.
Anybody else? I guess you can go sit down.
Nice work.
What is the strip, though? What is that zone? Is that residential or
That's, right now it's A3.
A3?
How wide is that again? How wide is that?
84 feet.
84 feet wide.
Good evening. Joe Cook, 4223 Meadow Green.
You saying it was-
I'm at the northern part of Meadow Green when we dealt with this issue in regards to the other property going through, and they gave a 30-foot buffer. And as they said, when all the trees came down, it was all low-lying brush. The houses to the south have a clear view of everything. The properties that are going in there have a clear view of the backyards of the homes on Meadow Green. 30 foot is nothing. I understand you're putting up some greenage for the other properties.
I don't know what they're doing with.
And something institutional like that up against a residential neighborhood is detrimental to the housing, to anybody over there who's got a $200,000 home. It's going to drop considerably. Because again, if you drive along there, I mean, again, we're to the north. We have 110 foot of trees that they left us. Traffic noise is considerable from what it was. And the 30 foot from us down is left nothing for these people. They're staring at an empty field or staring at a building or the people staring back at them. There was major issues, people who were on the southern part of where we're at in regards to that, because it's all low-lying brush. 30 foot is nothing in that area because of that. You know, if they can go 100 foot, gives them a little bit of trees, whatever the case is, to protect their privacy from an institutional type situation. I just came here because I saw the sign. I'm not a president of the area, I'm just a concerned citizen. Because as I drive down the street and I see the people who are affected by what happened before, it's absolutely detrimental. I mean, they see Kingston. That's all they see. And you throw a building back there, another building, an institutional building, whether it's 1 story or 2 story, I mean, property values will drop considerably. I know it's going to be changed to something, but give these people a break. You know, there's 2 houses up for sale now because of what happened. You know, it's a good neighborhood. It's a really good neighborhood. Just give these people some slack. Give them some privacy to a degree. I understand the property's going to be developed, but give them something. Like I said, I'm on the north end. Luckily, we were protected because they went from 10 foot from the condos on the north to 100 feet. We're right there. But everybody else in the neighborhood is barren. They just look out there and they're making coffee, that's all they see. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Where did you say you lived at?
4223 Meadow Green. I'm on the north, the most northern part of Meadow Green, next to the condos. So
They
that,
give you a buffer of how much down there?
they initially went 30 foot west, but they gave the condos on the north, initially was going to be 10 feet. And they had a discussion and they gave them 100 feet, which protected the condos from staring at an open field and a very large 3-story building. But everybody else, my neighbor, it goes about half of my neighbor's home, everybody else down is just an open field. You know, they got 8-foot, privacy fences, but a 3-story building behind them is not doing much good. But if you keep going further south with an institutional style setting, I'm not there, but I'd be a little,
Yeah, I understand.
that would impact my family life. I hope the board hears this.
Gentlemen?
I do. So did you identify the hardship in the staff report at all? I mean, what's the hardship here? I'm just not seeing it.
Well, I think the hardship is that in all likelihood, the property to the south and the east is going to be commercially zoned in the very near future.
So
hardship
that's your
required.
reason for saying, because you're speculating that will be commercial. Understood.
Troy, could you step back up? So you've got a fair amount of open space.
Correct.
Between the rear building and the 20, shows the 20-yard setback. What do you have planned in that space?
Leave it as much undisturbed as possible. The detention is going to go up in the front yard. So there's no plans right now to develop anything back there. And then behind that, you do have that additional lot behind us. It's also zoned agricultural.
I guess the question I have too, being in healthcare, the type of facility that you guys are putting up here, is there, places where the residents will be going outside, walking around in the back? I mean, it's short term, but so it's like less than 60 days, 90 days. But I know they like to get outside, maybe do some activities. Is there going to be some area set aside for them? To Tim's point, you have that open space. Is there going to be putting any greenery, any trees? The gentleman talked about all low-lying brush, but any plans to put something like that?
That, unfortunately, I don't know what their day-to-day operation is with their patients.
So I think that goes to what the gentleman was talking about, if you're outside.
My name is Ken Marciniak. I'm the agent who represents the property owner and as well as the developer. This is a short-term medical assistance facility. Patients not generally staying more than 2 weeks. These are patients who have been prescribed by different physicians, and this facility will effectively get them off all the medications. They'll be seen medically to get them on a better track, if you will, and the average age is 75 and older. So sure there might be some amount of outside activity, but there are several pictures of other facilities they have, and there's nothing for outside activities in any of those site plans. Regarding this parcel, there's only one house, one parcel on meadow green that will be directly contiguous to this site. The folks who own the 84-acre parcel, 84-acre wide parcel, segregates the majority of this parcel from the residences on Meadow Green. The family that owned that 84-foot parcel are heirs, and I had nothing to do with it, but it sure looks to me like when Meadow Green was developed, that parcel should have went with Meadow Green, but it's, neither here nor there, it's gone. I have attempted to include part of that parcel with this sale, so it would be an irregular eastern property line, and they just don't need it, thus they didn't, attempt to buy it. My hopes now would be that with the remaining parcel that I have with the frontage on Sylvania Avenue, that I'll be able to incorporate that in with whatever happens to the piece on Sylvania Avenue. We at one point had AAA looking at the eastern portion of the frontage on Sylvania Avenue, which would have incorporated that 84-foot into that parcel, effectively leaving that little section to the rear, that leg, if you will, vacant, and they had no use for it, but it fit. AAA didn't like that we wanted them to orient their building in a different direction, and their prerogative, they moved to Myers. So there's, like I said, though, there's only one house that will be impacted by this site plan and the split that we're proposing.
What's the typical square footage of these facilities? This one's about 1,300. Is that pretty standard?
Yeah, that's their standard. This is really a cookie cutter. The pictures show a different aesthetic facade on the buildings. All the buildings are the same on the inside. And they, they're out of Indianapolis. Like I said, it's a specialty that they've found a niche, and this developer's out of Cleveland, but the tenant, who will be Assurance Health, is out of Indianapolis. The developer is out of Cleveland.
So it shows 50 parking spaces provided, and 19 future to the north. You're required to have one for that in 23, so I look at this and say you could substantially increase the size of the building without having to do any parking.
In other words, you could come off the back of that building.
And put an addition on?
Right.
They've never done that. I mean, I can't say that they wouldn't do that, but they have never done it with their other four. There's one under construction currently right now in Hudson, Ohio, but they haven't. So it's kind of on a need basis. Why 23 beds? And they've said with our studying and our planning and everything, our research, that's the size that we need, and there's such a specialty operation that's, so I can't address it though. I guess, I don't know what it would take to enlarge the building if they decided at some point, they felt that they were, in need of it. Certainly, I guess they would follow the proper procedures but they've never done it to this point, so, for whatever that's worth.
Mr. Schlachter, this zone change request is for a PUD, a C2 PUD. So if they were to enlarge the building, especially if it's going to be a significant addition, it would have to come back before the trustees for PUD approval. Now, if it's a very small, minor addition, it can be approved administratively from the zoning office, but anything of any significance would have to be approved by the trustees.
So what was driving the reduction in the rear yard setback if your building's so far to the west of it?
Part of that's the requirement for a fencing and the buffer. I'm not quite sure if we require a mound too, but I know there was a fencing requirement that just didn't make sense on that site way back there when you saw that 84-foot buffer lot behind us.
That's not, excuse me, that's not actually a buffer. That's somebody's property.
Right.
So I could go in there if I owned it and clear it.
Well, you could, and if, the property owner on Sylvania Avenue could utilize that 84-foot strip as some type of detention on a site plan. I mean, that might be one use for it. So, it's something to consider.
Dumpster location's up by the building, which is going to be a substantial distance from that back. Yeah, that's right. It's going to be right there.
Yeah, 40 feet.
Right.
You haven't put a fence in.
To the east of the building?
A little bit to the west of the back of the building. The back of the building's right there, and dumpster's going to be just a little bit west of that.
Any of that, 20 feet? Oh, why don't we give them back to you? Okay. Anybody else? Speak.
Thanks, Troy.
Thank you.
My name is Don Bingham. I live at 4035 Meadow Green Drive, and I back up completely what Joe said about the buffer on the previous project that was brought to the attention of the township. They said they were going to leave all that space there, but so much of it is underbrush, and it does really impede on the privacy of the residents on that street. I really feel bad for those people that live down at that side. I'm glad your property wasn't affected that much, Joe, but the rest of them are. And I just wanted some clarification on this. So the buffer between most of Meadow Green existing homes that are there now and this project is what again? I mean, is it going to be that 84-foot strip? Is that what we're talking about?
No, that's not in this.
It should address Daryl.
On this proposed one, the requirement is 40 feet, they're asking for a variance to 20 feet.
The 20 feet.
Right.
I see. But what was the point about it's only going to affect one address as far as being contiguous? What exactly does that mean?
There's only one property that fronts onto Meadow Green that would also be bordering on this one, and that'd be in the extreme northeast corner.
That homeowner right there,
Which one?
this one right
Can you
there,
Google that up for us?
whoever
He's
that
got a
is.
slide. It's,
He's got yours.
Yeah, I don't have internet
84
access.
feet that we're
It's
talking about.
21 on
And
your,
this is the subject.
Which one?
21
Okay.
shows it.
So these properties right here are going to have,
Well, until someday.
someday somebody buys that?
Yeah,
Okay,
until
that's what I
someday.
understood.
There you go.
Okay. So that's going to be left untouched, that part, today. Exactly. Well, I would just say that the buffers that are left there for a lot of these projects, like in this type of a growth area, as far as the trees there, it is mostly underbrush, and it really doesn't shelter the residents from looking at that at all. Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can there be something put in there since it's a PUD?
You have to come up
I
to,
apologize. Can there-
Did you sign in?
Did you sign, sir?
Again, Joe Cook, can there be something put in there since it's PUD to actually have greenage put in, these evergreens, or whatever the case was I heard earlier, to protect those people so that they're not looking at this building, or people are looking at them. You know, whether it be making coffee, swimming, whatever the case is, I mean, a lot of these people have children. You know, and it's just, they just need protection from something. You know, they've lived against these woods knowingly something's going to happen, but they didn't realize that it was going to disappear in a matter of months. I mean, gone. They didn't realize that they had underbrush, low-lying stuff behind them. You know, they were talking about these, when we went through these meetings before, oh my gosh, there's 35-foot trees, there's 50-foot trees. Well, they happen to be in 100-foot back. They're gone. If you ever take a drive down there and you look to the west, you see nothing. I mean, this last windstorm we had blew down what little was there. And again, I'm to the north. You know, we so far are not involved in this to a degree, other than the fact that we're on that street and we see what's going on. Give them some protection. Put it in the PUD. Hey, man, we're going to throw out 50 trees for you. That way you don't have to look at us, we don't look at you. There's a little protection from the road noise, from King. I mean, all this, the building that went in before, I mean, there's 250 residents, 226 residents or something. Cars. Ambulances. You know, the mean age is 70, 75 per se. You know, you're going to have, we already got a lot of, from Kingston. My mom was at Kingston. I understand. You know, it's the barometric pressure rises, people get sick. They can't breathe. I was a paramedic for 10 years. I understand this. You get the ambulances coming in there, the fire department coming in there, and now you've got a rehab center is what it sounds like, you know, as well as this other outfit, 200 and some odd beds, 3 stories, you know, elderly people. You know, it's going to continue, the emergency response is going to continue. Protect the people of that street. They were there. It's, to me, it's something that needs to be thought about. If nothing else, put something in there, give them some help to protect from the noise, the views. And again, you know, you go further south, you're going to have commercial. I'm sure it's a corner. More traffic. I mean, that intersection is ridiculous right now. You know, just trying to get in and out of Meadow Green is insane. You might as well just go the other way. You're still going to run into traffic. But now you're going to throw this type of stuff in there, that's going to turn into, if not a 4-lane, at least, you know, a turning lane. Something's going to happen there. It's got to, just for the traffic flow. So, again, with him, it's the protection of the residents there. They're there. They've made an investment. Hundreds of thousands of dollars investment. You know, they don't want an institution behind them. Or if it is there, protect them from it. Or protect them from us, whatever the case may be. So, again, I thank you.
Since he's done, I got a question for Troy as well.
Thanks for your attention.
Troy, is there plans to have a natural barrier on the back of the lot here? What's the landscaping? I mean, there's like landscaping, but it doesn't really say what kind of landscaping you're planning on doing. I mean, what do you guys do with the other properties?
That hasn't been thoroughly completed for that back area,
Okay.
but will be something we could discuss at I know it's not in front of your board, but the PUD, it's another opportunity the township has we could sit down and look at that area a little bit stronger.
So I guess I'm still unclear. So what's the point of the variance on the east side of that property?
He said that the main one for that one was to eliminate the requirement for the fencing.
Okay.
And then we just kind of kept it consistent with this, with the south one.
Okay. That's it, thanks.
Okay, anybody else have anything to say? We're going to adjourn for a moment, go back and discuss this. We will make a decision tonight. We will have a vote tonight, so if anybody wants to wait, or it will be available within a couple weeks. Is that correct, Darrell? Say the next one. Okay.
Oh, you guys are all set. So I didn't realize you were still here. Still to be on the table. Thank you. Yeah. Sure. Oh, thank you.
It does that up there. It's nice to see that. It makes it so much easier.
Gentlemen, excuse me, the landscape plan for 4120 King is up here if you want to take a look at it. They're going to be adding 27 spruce trees
Boring?
in there.
Pretty boring.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's possible.
We're all looking at it, not a but thank you very much.
Thanks for coming, ladies.
Rip, thanks.
Yeah, they did.
So this is I didn't come and look at the plan, so I'm totally confused as to which way it's oriented.
Yeah, this is gonna be your north, I would imagine.
Okay. So I have to come down here for something.
Yeah, because these are all the garages which affect us here, and the road and the lighting that's gonna be in there. So
This is
for the.
Meadow Green.
No, this is for the one that they approved. Yeah, this is for the one.
This is the three-story.
Correct. This is their, they gave them all
This
this.
is Wicklow Woods.
Right.
Not related
Is it
to
27?
this particular. One of the meetings recently.
I mean, they'll grow,
If
but
they're
not in my
our
lifetime.
size, the ones that are,
Right.
you,
Right.
those are good.
So where's
But
Wicklow
they're also
Woods
wide.
again?
It's
Over there,
Wicklow.
okay, yeah,
This is Meadow
This is
Green.
Meadow Green.
okay.
This is
yeah.
King.
Yeah, when I drove down there the first time and saw how far they went, I said, that's 30 feet. Yeah.
Of nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, 3 or 4 trees sitting there. Yeah, the rest of it's all underbrush. That's the problem.
It is.
So where are you?
I'm down there. Actually, you're here, man, because I'm here.
Well, is this Sylvania? I don't know, is this
No.
Sylvania?
Yeah, this
No,
would be
Sylvania.
Sylvania.
Well,
Well, yeah, okay, yeah.
it's
Sylvania
Sylvania,
would be
because
way
they
down
still
there.
got
Right, yeah.
the proposed hospital and another lot. Yeah. I'm sorry, three lots. No, whatever.
That concerns me, even when they say they're just having
I know,
opium thing.
yes.
Because we've got rehab.
Yes, you do. It's basically.
But that's more of a physical, versus yeah, they call it a senior vehicles. Yeah. So he said the guy that's on the corner of Test, right, yeah, back of Meadow Woods,
I'm Ken, I'm the salesman, this is the engineer.
Okay.
This 80-foot piece, 84-foot piece is
North-south, 84 feet.
north-south, 84
Okay.
feet. And it's 84 east-west,
Oh,
and it's probably 500 north-south. It runs from Sylvania Avenue all the way to Great Peace. It's all overgrown just like all of that.
yeah.
So what we were just talking about, the reason they're asking for this variance here is because you gotta put up, correct me if I'm wrong, the 40-foot setback, they put up a fence. In that 40-foot, there's got to be a fence there. And then when and if I can ever sell this piece, because of this residential here, there's going to be a 40-foot requirement for a fence here. I can't guarantee anything, but I don't walk on water. And selling that piece for anything to be developed.
What you offer to these people here?
I was just gonna
They
say,
did. See, when this was developed,
but how many years ago?
that's it. The father.
I mean, right now, I mean, why don't you offer to
Well-
these dirt cheap and say, hey, man, give us that property?
I mean, I've talked with a couple people here, and it's their backyard. They put their leaves back there, and God bless them. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's not hurting anybody, and that ultimately might be what the only value of this is, because if I can't incorporate this piece in with the sale here, I'm never going to sell. 84 feet by 500
Which is
feet.
perfect for these people.
Sure it is. Oh, I agree 100%. I agree 100%. But
But,
this family thinks that because of the numbers this is going for, they should, when I listed this, they contacted me, and I said, just what you said. I said, well, you need to sell that off to all these neighbors.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah,
You're going to get, because
to protect your
For a
property.
fraction of what you would for a commercial lot.
that's the bottom line.
Because it's
And
a
now-
dead space.
And now, and when it's going to happen is when I sell this off to one user,
Okay.
and they say, what do I want that for? I don't need that. I got 3.5 acres here, plus or minus, that's just what's left to sell there.
right.
And there's most likely going to be one user there. The people who own this have already turned down a full price offer.
Right, we've been through that, we
Right.
understand that.
So,
It'd been nice to have 84 feet all the way down,
Sure.
we understand
Yeah.
that's gone already.
Right.
But, man, protect these people.
I understand what you're saying, exactly.
I mean,
Because this-
84 feet is, you're gonna get some decent sized trees. As well as, you know, somebody throwing something in to make sure.
Now, what type of fence do you put up on that setback? I mean, is it gonna be like a stockade fence, it's gonna shield it, or it's just gonna be a?
I think that came up, he started with his own way. I think it's a wire board.
Like a shadow fence?
But that's, double check, verify it.
And I don't know.
If it's a fence, that would be a good one to put up, because if you can't see through it,
Yeah,
you
right.
can't see us, and we can't
Maybe
see
it's
them.
tall enough for, yeah.
If it's falling,
But it's the trajectory, that's the thing, it's like you can't go any higher than 8 foot.
as far as the fencing goes.
Right.
Yeah.
You can go 8? You can go 8 feet?
I mean, that's a privacy, that's what it
Well, it
is.
does. I don't know, but I thought it was 6. I mean, 8 foot is,
Yeah.
Well, I'm 6'2". That's all higher the fence can go.
Joe, what's the fence?
I don't know, that's a question for Daryl.
I always thought it was an 8 foot fence, an 8 foot privacy fence.
So sometimes it's a 6 foot.
Taller
2
than
foot
I am,
mound.
but no question.
And again, I do so many different zoning code
So his
areas.
fence goes here, and then at the edge of this 84-foot swath. That's
No,
what
no,
it's-
no, goes in 40 feet.
It
Goes in 40 feet.
Right
In
now, you're
40
saying
feet
it's
this way.
required zone
It's-
that he
that's-
has to put the fence in 40 feet from the
Right.
lot
The
line.
fence might go a little closer to the property line, it's just something we have to have a 40-foot buffer of landscape. So the fence is 40 foot before you can put any building or parking lot or anything like that.
So you
So that'll be coming in on this property then, they'll be coming
Yeah.
40 foot from the back of the property itself that you purchased, right?
Well,
It'll be
currently
coming,
the zoning code, because this is agriculturally zoned,
yeah.
would require this to have a 40-foot buffer. 40-foot of green space with a fence, and there's some.
Yeah, but green space is green space. This is green space. That's wide open to nothing. There's no sound, there's no visual. It's just green space.
Okay, but what I'm trying to figure out, the 40 foot, in relation to the property,
Pretty line.
yeah, that 40 foot would drop where on this property? I mean, you're coming in 40 foot from the back of the property or 40 foot from the residential?
The property
So
line.
124 feet from the back of the residential.
Okay, so you're coming in 40 on your own property.
Correct. And then another 40 foot close.
So on this one, when it says rear, that's the east.
Yes.
That was very confusing when you call it Sylvania Avenue and talk rear.
Yes. 'cause it's-
Right.
Yeah, exactly,
Exactly.
exactly, and
I didn't
I,
have time to
yeah,
come up
okay,
with the plans.
yeah, okay.
And you want to take it from 40 to what? 20?
To 20. So basically, if this was rezoned other than agricultural, what would the setback be? And it'd be a 20 foot. No fence required.
Actually, something's going to be
But
done.
with this being a PUD, any
No, no, not that.
additions to the building?
But, I mean,
have to
that's
come
what
back
I mean,
to the
that's
township.
nice to come back there.
So they could
Yeah,
add on
I'm
back to the
sorry,
building
but,
without coming back.
yeah.
I don't own it.
Yeah,
I
okay.
agree with you
Yeah, I know,
100%.
yeah, yeah. It'll never be good for anything.
So when you say
Not
that
in
only,
our lifetime,
only
anyway.
one property will be affected by that.
This one
isn't-
right here.
But what about this, and this?
Well, they get that 80 feet.
Where they got the 80 feet, this is going to come right in on his backyard.
Yeah,
This
okay,
guy,
gotcha.
this
First
guy,
actually touches it.
I didn't, yeah, okay.
that one actually touches.
Whereas like all these touch that. Very well.
Absolutely.
That's the,
And that's my biggest concern, if you're going to go 20 feet or 40 feet, whatever the case is, and you're going to put a buffer, it's something, tree, these things, these 23 spruces, 27 spruces, whatever the hell they are. It's, you need to protect these people. They have an investment.
Let me tell you that when this happened, we called immediately and said, what the hell are you doing? And
They
said,
stripped
Right. And the seller didn't realize that. We gave them the authority to go on this property to clear, to do borings for stability. They needed to go on it to do soil compaction studies so they could make sure that the ground would hold their building.
It gave everybody a
They
good
never
idea of what
did.
it is.
I never saw anybody out there do it. I saw them out there clear cutting, because that's what I thought they did. And I thought, oh man, Daryl's gonna have his hands full,
Yeah,
because it's
These
clear
people
cut.
are these people are hit.
Yeah,
They
yes,
they-
sure. Yeah.
because I was out of state when, they would turn it down, and it came down there. Wow.
Yeah,
See,
that was.
Yeah.
Kingston.
Yeah, that was.
And that's our concern. I mean, and it's probably not yours, but it's ours. And it should be yours. And that's where we need help.
On a neighborhood groups, you guys are really guys. We go to a lot of meetings, a neighborhood group,
Just that they decided to put these in when they clear cut it?
I guess, I don't know, Daryl,
Because I don't remember that being part of
Is
it.
this part of
No,
the PUD?
No, it was not.
this is part of the PUD now, is what Daryl said,
Okay.
because it became so.
Because these cats in here, I mean, oh my gosh, there's nothing.
Down here especially, there's
Yeah,
a,
it took
up
everything.
here, this.
No, it's only this that has
This.
something. So this is
Yeah.
Joe,
Yeah,
And this is
we're
us.
blessed here.
Yeah.
we're here,
Yeah.
and that's Joe.
And they gave, I was shocked when they gave this much up. Because they were required, I think, 30, and they gave up 100. I was shocked.
10, they were giving them 10.
Oh, but
10 feet.
But that can't change, can it?
No, it can't change now.
No, we're set, okay.
They-
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Township.
Because when the lease out, we're not gonna see anything. I don't want any big surprise with that, yeah. Yeah, come on, we have it all, see, yeah.
Well, they're in there deciding on what they're gonna do, and
No, it's good to see that. It's
It's a little more encouraging.
AOC.
Yeah.
I trust Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, that thing, there's one other guy. Yeah, I'd like to be able to go from this. What's going on? You guys know. This is what I'm fighting for.
We never got anything like that.
We live right on the corner, all three of us do right up there. Yeah.
This, no, we're the
Right there.
condos.
The condos, yeah.
Right, this is
Yeah,
Joe.
right there.
This is Joe, and that's the three of us. No, this is, so this would be
Joe's backyard and mine.
And it's not a pretty place by any imagination, but it does.
Yes, it's gonna be.
there's not a
Those 35-foot
stick.
trees, right? You can't.
Thank you for considering. Thank you.
So those of us that
Oh, I know, but I mean.
these people here.
But you know. That's weird. Well, but I mean,
Wednesday, we have
I think so, I think so.
It's hard for me.
I heard about they were gonna build.
Well, he came up with figures.
It's good. You know, some of it's yeah. That's what I was thinking, but someone was telling me. I saw Jenny get that down. It's south, because my friends live way down south.
But it's still north,
It's
it's still
north. It's like a big came down. There's a whole new section of condos going in right on Bancroft. Close to, you know, the school is, it's right in there. That's all of the deal. It's right there. Yes, you have, I know, and I didn't get there. My very closest friend's own handles, so, yeah, yeah, that's quite a bit. Let's kick out of that. Did you use the drive-through? I think it's still open, yeah. That's funny, yeah.
Well, I think you might think there's so much traffic. Yeah, I think, basically, I've never seen a sign there, as I recall, a sign saying, you know, they do sides, whatever.
Yeah,
it
that's,
is.
yeah.
And the woods is gone.
And Michelle, the gal that I know. Okay, thank you. There, it says, for sale. It's the white sign with the lettering on it. It's kind of a big, yeah.
And she was the builder.
No, she's the builder. Oh, the builder, yeah.
So is this her company?
One builder. I don't know. I gotta ask her. I will ask her. I wanna ask her how much, I wonder how much of that is. Progress, right, or whatever you wanna call it.
This is gonna be other.
It's an Easton, that's it.
But she's.
I know. I don't think there's anything we can, yeah, it is busy. You zipped right out onto Sylvania. And I was.
Did you go through?
No, I went down Meadow Green and you were there, and you had like a light going down, and then boom, all of a sudden, you was I was several cars. I pulled out right after you pulled out. Well, but I do that more often than not, and I was surprised, because it wasn't too bad.
Still not used to living where we live, to come to different places, because I'm thinking,
Well, and I thought you took this sprint and you're on the right side of the road to get in here too. Yeah, you just boom, boom, boom around the corner.
Yeah.
So, Oh, do they have the code of what these things are? Yeah, just little. It's fine. I just wondered if they had, because they have some tree, they've got, like, what the size of the trees are, about the landscaping. Oh, and so they. Okay.
I know when, but you know what?
Oh, were they? Oh, that amazing grace that I didn't, that's a big lot.
That parcel.
And they said that
You're gonna cost us, because you gotta create the legal description, you gotta go through the split.
Yeah, that's true, but, it's gonna be booming for a while. See what these Yeah, and then by then it'll be something else. With, isn't this tree? And MS. That's going to be a Malice Brimstone tree.
Okay.
What am I gonna do with this land, guys?
That's the other, that's the that's a funny shape. It is, yeah.
You can read that.
All of them? One at a time.
Okay.
You guys can handle that time.
Reading? Okay.
You guys talk amongst yourself, go back and forth on it.
Read one?
Shall I?
You want to read them all?
I don't. This one. Come on. When we do,
Just four we were.
Okay, ready to go?
Yeah.
Back to the meeting. Okay, we need a couple motions, and we'll start with number 5, I guess.
We'll start with 5. I'll make a motion for the variance request from rear and south side setbacks of 40 feet required to 20 feet provided for the property located at 7464 Sylvania Avenue, parcel number 78-24024, in accordance with STZR section 2003-D.
Motion to.
Second.
Second.
Vote?
Yeah, it was a motion to approve, sorry.
Oh, excuse me. Yes.
Mr. Schlechter.
No.
Mr. Miller.
No.
Mr. Hayes.
No.
Mr. Levine.
No.
Variance number 7. Need a motion.
I'll do this, motion to approve variance request from the landscape and screening requirements on abutting residential for rear and south side for the property located at 7464 Sylvania Avenue, parcel number 78-24024, in accordance with STZR section 3002.
Second.
Okay, vote?
Mr. Miller.
No.
Mr. O'Meara?
No.
Mr. Tucker?
No.
Mr. Hayes?
No.
Mr. Chairman, I motion to approve variance request for north side setback of 40 feet required or 30 feet provided for the property located at 7464 Sylvania Avenue, parcel number 78-24024, in accordance with STZR Section 2003B.
Second.
Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. O'Meara?
Yes.
And we'd like to respond, Mr. Chairman, if anybody want to do some discussion on this, or we want to do this?
We can. We have a couple suggestions for you. I guess I ought to get the right drawing here, yeah. On the back property, we would like to see a 30-foot setback, no fence required, and landscape screen. But you'd have to make that again and come back. But that's what we would consider.
Right, and then on 7, he addressed the south side, or the rear, with the landscape. We wouldn't require a landscape buffer on the south side.
We couldn't separate those.
So screening and 30 feet in the rear.
Nothing on this.
When can we refile?
ASAP.
Okay, is that a one-year lien or anything?
No.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Did you address number 5, where we had to separate those two?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll just make sure they apply for it in a manner that we can. Just
Okay. If that's it, we're up for adjournment. Adjournment.
So moved?
second? Yes.
Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. O'Meara?
Yes.
Done. It's done.
Nice work there, gents. It's a nice work there, gents. I'm really proud of you.